In this video, I'd like to cover some of my recommendations for what to read first if you want to learn about the Irish saints. So I covered this in a previous video about Saint Patrick, the best things to read if you want to know about him specifically. So of course, the same story, these are the best things that you could start off with, really. I think everyone knows that St. Patrick was extremely important in the history of Christianity in Ireland, and there can be no better place to start. In that video, I also discussed why I think the earliest texts are the best place to start. If you want to read things that have been written more recently, it's good to at least read these things first and be grounded in those earliest texts before reading something later, which often can be biased against Christianity, which also I covered in another video about the universities, why they often have an anti-Christian angle and some of the problems that they have. After reading about Saint Patrick, I would recommend going on to Saint Brigid. Here I have found two of the hagiographies about her, so that would be the next thing to read. And finally, the excellent Life of Columba by Adomnán of Iona would be the next great text to read. This is an excellent order to read in because each of these saints epitomise a certain aspect of the history of Christianity in Ireland. So St. Patrick, of course, represents Christianity coming to Ireland, and we see in his life a lot of this engagement with the non-Christian people and the conversion of the pagans to Christianity. With Saint Brigid, she then is born and raised in Ireland. So we see what this sort of new generation of this Christian, the first Christian generation of Irish saints. And then with St. Columba, he of course goes to Iona, which is in Scotland. So he then brings Christianity to another nation. So in summary, St. Patrick, Christianity is coming into Ireland. St. Brigid, Christianity is growing and developing in Ireland. And with St. Columba, it's then going out of Ireland to other nations, in his case Scotland. Their lives also touch upon the lives of many other saints, and so you will find out about a lot of the other saints via the hagiographies of those three. Beyond that, there's also the book The Brehon Laws, a Legal Handbook by Laurence Ginnell. Very good book for getting an understanding more of the Irish society, pre-Christian and into the early Christian period. Also, there is F.E. Warren's Liturgy and Ritual of the Celtic Church, which will tell you a lot, give you a good idea of how the church was in those early centuries. Those two I wouldn't necessarily recommend to everyone, only if you really want to get into this in more detail, whereas the documents I presented in this video about St. Patrick, St. Brigid and St. Columba, I highly, highly, highly recommend. And especially, this is the early Irish church tradition. These documents are so valuable and necessary reading, really, for anyone with any degree of interest in this subject. I can't recommend it highly enough. All the links seen in the video I will put in the description. And of course, a lot of further reading can be done